So, what's your silent hill? Too personal? I understand. If you were to walk into my office today, and you just happened to grow up during that beautiful time where Sony PlayStations and demo discs were a golden currency, I'll probably start by asking you a simple question.
What's your silent hill?
No, I don't mean which one's your favorite in the series. I mean something much more intimate. What's the thing that always finds you? That always hunts you down? It waits until you're vulnerable, maybe right before you fall asleep, and confronts you with maybe the ugliest, most unrelenting part of yourself on display. Don't worry, I'm gonna share mine first, but I'd really love to hear yours too. Feel free to share it in the comments below. If you feel brave enough, you won't be judged. At least not by me. So first, let me start by breaking this down into what a personal silent hill usually consists of. Personal silent hill can be a traumatic event or a belief about yourself that you can't seem to shake, no matter how hard you try. But it's also more than this. It's not just a thought, it's a deeply felt experience, a psychological maelstrom, an embodied, dream-haunting dread. If you faced it, you know it. When people enter their own silent hills, rip silent hills, by the way, golly. When people enter their own silent hills, the physical symptoms are apparent, easy to track. Muscles tighten, teeth clench, stomachs drop, eyelids stretch wide open like you're bracing for impact. Heartbeats hammer, mouths dry up, and veins start popping. Or if you're like me, it feels like your mitochondria are slowly baking, degloving themselves from each and every cell, starting with your spinal cord. I blame Parasite Eve for that imagery. It's a clinical response, yes, but it's also so deeply personal. You see, personal silent hill might also take the form of a deep, uncanny feeling, like a fog or smoke slipping through, if you will. It's a kind of terror you can't quite name, but still sits behind your ribs like a second set of lungs. Stephen King describes this terror like this, quote, "Terror's when you come home and notice everything you own has been taken away and replaced by an exact substitute." That's the quote that is etched into my mind when I enter my own silent hill. The room looks the same, but it isn't the same. Everything's frozen while simultaneously burning. The furniture watches, the mirror accuses. Even my own possessions feel hostile, mocking me for believing that I ever deserved to have them. In the Silent Hill games, the town adapts to the character's mind and specific trauma. It reshapes itself to reflect their traumas, their guilt, their grief. It becomes a special, individualized type of punishment. But also, if you look closer, it's a distorted invitation of sorts. A carnival mirror. That's what it feels like to me too, when I spiral into these rooted emotional states. In therapy, we sometimes call this a schema. You may have heard the term before. It's basically a deeply held internal belief, usually formed early in life and socially reinforced. Think parents, culture, society. And it might whisper things to you like it does to me. Things like,
You're not allowed to need too much.
You have to earn your place. Love has a price tag. And when those beliefs get triggered by a mistake, a failure, a silence that lasts too long, we don't just feel sad. we enter a world completely shaped, defined by the architecture of those thoughts. Every sidewalk crack becomes another shortcoming. Every quiet friend becomes someone who's secretly mad at you. Every mirror becomes a jury. You don't feel bad. You feel inherently wrong. Because you are. I mentioned I'd start this by telling you about my silent hill. My silent hill is subtle. It looks like isolation. Like rehearsing apologies I'll never need to say. Or replaying conversations from 3 or 13 years ago and still coming out the villain, no matter what I say or do. It sounds like internal monologues that always start with, "Of course you did that," and somehow always end with, "Why do you even try?" One time, in my own personal therapy, my therapist asked me, "What would your depression look like if it had a body?" And I spent 5 straight minutes describing this guy. But in my own work, and through a lot of my own healing, I've started to see my silent hill differently. Not as a curse, but more like a map. And a map isn't evil. It's just information. It shows me where I'm still hurting, where I'm still believing stories that were written for me before I had the ability to say no. Do I keep following these stories? Do I keep playing those roles? Or do I choose to meet myself with compassion and move forward instead? I don't always leave this headspace gracefully, but the point of your own silent hill is to survive and hopefully grow. Sometimes I claw my way out, furious and exhausted. Sometimes I sleep my way out and try again the next day. Sometimes I text someone I care about and say, "Hey, can you remind me that I'm not an awful person who everybody hates secretly?" And sometimes I just walk through it. No fixing, no feeling, just naming. Sitting in the fog with both feet on the ground. Because the goal isn't to never go there again. That'd be nice. But the goal is to not abandon myself when I do go there. For I will need me to get through it. So, dear listener, I've shared with you my silent hill. So now I want to know, what's your silent hill? What's that thing that finds you late into the waking hours? That keeps you up till 3 a.m, over and over again? And what might it be wanting to show you? Not because it wants you to suffer, but because it wants you to listen. Because with the right kind of support and the right kind of honesty, you can find healing even in the most haunted places. Thanks for watching. And remember, don't get lost in your own silent hill. There's no good place to put this, but if you want relief from your own personal silent hill, that's what this channel is for. I want to encourage you to subscribe so that you're able to better address yourself when you enter these types of moments, when you find yourself stuck, when you hear the sirens and can't leave. I'm here to give tools for that, and I too know the difficulty of those sirens. They're very strong and they're very hard to stop. Click subscribe. Join me today if you're looking for some relief from your own personal silent hill. And remember, When you hear the siren, it's time to leave.